Jim Jones became enraged and attacked Tony Yayo during Memphis Bleek's personal podcast. And Bleek is the wild part. Doesn't even enjoy Yayo? Thus, what's the agreement? Why did Memphis Bleek get? Why did Jim Jones have such a breakdown after smoking with Tony Yayo? Keep your door locked, because this video breaks down precisely what took place. And believe me, it gets quickly heated. Let's begin with Bleek, since his problem is much easier. Memphis Bleek and Jay-Z have been close since the beginning. 1. Essentially like his little brother. However, Tony Yayo has been criticizing Jay-Z for many years. Yayo stated on tape that have attempted to prevent 50 Cent from performing the halftime show for the Super Bowl. Moreover, he has never let go of that. Thus, when Yayo and Shannon Sharpe sat down, he didn't hold back. He made a call. Jay-Z is a hater who claims he never offers assistance. Don't put people on, and nobody wins. He was even made fun of Bleek by stating, "Look Bleek at Memphis. He is not radiant. He was failing to win. Jay-Z doesn't look after take care of me. He's about 50. That jab, it lit the entire thing on there. Flames.
Like I just said, we just came back off tour.
Yeah.
You know, with Fifth, and we still touring. Still. And I do my own tours too for people. Oh, yo.
You see,
I do my own tours. I did tours in Canada. I did a tour across the whole Germany and the Swiss Alps. And that's why I don't care about the hate. Cause I'm like, I got the possibility to do my own tour. Like something with Memphis Bleek. Memphis Bleek said Nori. Yayo said, Jay-Z didn't have us on tour like he did, or I eat my own halal. I eat my own halal too. If you want to say that, to Memphis Bleek, I just came off my last tour. All I'm saying is when you see Jay-Z in a setting, he never really, when he's doing a Beyonce show or whatever, you don't see Memphis Bleek on the stage and him being brought out. You know, even if I'm doing the hype man shit with 50, he's bringing me out. I'm making money. I'm going to.
That's that man girl too. That's it. That's Hov's wife tour.
Yeah, that's Hov. Yeah, Hov wife tour.
So I believe if Hov was out on his own, he would bring Bleek out. There is no need for him to bring Bleek in a situation where it looked like if this was last tour you're talking about with the Cowboy Carter.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, because I look at Bleek as a loyal guy, like I'm a loyal guy to Jay. But I look at like Fifth, my guy Hervé. One day we at TRL, and it's the young gun that's there.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to him about it. And Hervé says loud, "You don't gotta worry about nothing. You got 50. Jay-Z doesn't do nothing for these guys like 50 does." And Hervé, I think he worked with them too. But he said that to me, and that always stuck in my head. Rest in peace to him.
Man, it's crazy to argue over who got the best sugar daddy. Real ones don't move like that. I've always been taught that you can't feed your family from another man's plate. Because once your people grow hungry when they cease serving you, Jay does more for me, or this whole yo 50 Cent takes care of me more thing. That is absurd. True men take care of themselves. Enterprise. Now, if your friend assists you out, cool. However, boasting about it is strange. Flex, do you sense me? Jay-Z's selfishness seems to be Yo-Yo's primary point of view, claiming that he solely acts in his own best interests and never assists others. However, the way it sounded made it sound like a crazy flex about who is receiving care, and that's an odd hill to die on. Thus, when Memphis Bleek won drink championships, he couldn't ignore that. He had to talk about it and clear the air. As per Bleek has never truly been profound hostility between Yao and him. They've even been in the same rooms previously. Perhaps worked together for a short while, but after Yo-Yo's remarks, things are undoubtedly moved. Now there's tension, not full-on conflict, but Bleek obviously something to express.
I seen something Tony Yayo said, Hov don't look out for me like 50 look out for him.
Oh, word? He said that?
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right. Okay.
I'm chewing aloud on my own.
Right.
If Hov look out, I'm telling you, I'll be up there.
Right.
So when y'all see me out here, that's the Blizzle budget. But back to you, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I just want to let niggas know Hov don't have to.
Right.
Even though he hasn't stated anything yet, Memphis in essence, Bleek stated, "Man, forget Tony, Yayo came right out." Here's the problem, though. Tony Yayo has consistently been the kind to call individuals for failing to take care of their crew. Additionally, that same energy is precisely what caused his latest conflict with Jim Jones. We all recall the old gun now. In contrast to Cameron, 50 Cent, Dipset days, Jones, Jim. Back then, Things were in disarray, but most people believed the drama to be lengthy. You mean it's gone? Incorrect. In the past few years, Tony Yayo and Jim Jones have returned at it once more, this time, over something much more intimate. Yayo was studying math. Hoffer's podcast following the release of a heavy assert. Jim Jones left Stack, he claimed, bundles to perish in the hood.
This is the difference between me and other niggas, right? Stack Bundles, one of my favorite rappers in the world.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Right?
Brian
And
Rest in peace.
Far Rock.
Yep.
You understand? Jim Jones, he had Stack Bundles, he had Max B. I looked at it like, wait, you know. Stack Bundles had a portion was still in the hood. No disrespect to Jim Jones. Fifth had me in Battery Park. I could walk out that barefoot.
Get the
See,
socks.
that's when a nigga love you, nigga. Get the socks, nigga. Sneakers Dior, nigga. But I'm walking out there barefoot. That's when you know a nigga love you, boy. Because he making sure you don't get your shit split. Because you go back to 134, anywhere, Baisley, right, Brooklyn, shit get split. Once I got shit, nigga shot my shit up. Bentleys and all that. Y'all can get that sneaker, just toss that over there. My shit's official. You know what I'm saying? Yo, look, but nigga put me in position. Rest in peace of Stack, but Stack got killed in the project with a Porsche.
Yeah.
Nigga, come on, nigga, I'm from the hood, nigga. Y'all niggas thought, nigga. I done been around the Black Justice and seen the Preems and all that, nigga. The E-Money bags, all that, nigga. The younger niggas under that.
So with everything you
Maserati Fox. Real
Yeah.
nigga, huh?
saw, with everything that you saw, what would you change?
I just pray to God every time I leave the house.
But what would you change?
Change what?
That's a cup.
I heard you talk about all the shit you went through, all the shit niggas is still going through.
What God,
one of them cups
listen,
just
what
for
God
that
got planned for you is planned for you, brother. God already know what's planned for you in life.
God planned for you to come here and spaz on y'all niggas tonight.
I spaz?
I'm just saying it was a plan.
I mean, I do be on some Hollywood shit. Europe. I gotta stop.
Yeah.
Something like, yo, stop talking about Europe. I don't, like, when you come here, you gotta deal with
Don't treat
niggas.
Vlad like that, bro. See how niggas is? See how
No,
niggas
I
is,
had nothing
bro?
with Vlad.
He ain't treat Vlad
You do
like
with Europe.
this. He
I
ain't
gotta
treat
do
Vlad
things
like
you have to do with
this, my
Europe.
nigga.
When you go to
Yao claims that Jim neglected Stack, which contributed to his demise. That is a very serious charge. Now, if you don't, we'll discuss Stack Bundle's identity in a moment, but for now, here's a summary. One of Stack's day ones, Jim Jones, signed him. Jim challenged him, showed him the ropes and gave him a tour. However, for years, individuals have claimed that Jim didn't do enough for Stack, which is why the catastrophe struck. Stack Bundles died in the neighborhood, and the culture is still plagued by that tale to today. Everything comes from Stack Bundles, which have never left the neighborhood complex. You see, I've always assumed the best about Jim Jones because what transpired between them is largely unknown. You occasionally have friends who just no matter how much you attempt to help, they won't listen. People have come to me, expressing a desire to grind. I give them the entire plan and even make a purchase offer, them a setup, and they remain still. When you want someone to succeed more than they do, it can be difficult. Themselves. With Jim Jones and Stack, it sounded somewhat like that. Bundles. People made fun of Jim, claiming that he adopted Stack's entire approach, the way he ran, moved, spoke, and dressed with it. To be honest, Stack Bundles was that person. He most likely would have been seated next to Asap in the front row at Paris Fashion Week if life hadn't cut him short. State that is Rocky. That was the extent of his effect. However, detractors continued to claim that Jim Jones stole the sauce and abandoned him, which worsened the entire situation even more messy. However, Jim has consistently maintained his position, stating that's not at all true. He asserted that he made every effort to get Stack out of the neighborhood, that he provided him with everything: money, opportunities, tours, etc. Jim stated that Stack simply the thing that stung the most was that they didn't want to go. In his words, he never left Stack behind. He was simply unable to get him off the streets. Behind, whether you believe him or not. That's the Jim Jones's narrative. Throughout that interview, he became quite emotional, yelling to everyone who said the name of Stack Bundle.
I want to say this. The problem is, when she was on the show, she had said that she had heard about you wasn't giving Stack money, but people don't know that when Stack asked you for the bread, you were going to the bank. I think the bank was closed. Something happened because me and Bino talked about it. I remember being there, and you was going to give him
more money after the money he spent because we was on tour. He like,
Yeah.
geez, I spent all that tour money, geez,
I
I'm Pop,
remember.
I bug it. Whatever he did, brought another Porsche, BMW. He like, yo, Pop, geez, you said closed mouth don't get fed, geez, I'm Pop, geez, I'm hurting.
It's a fact.
And when I told him, I said, yo, go get 25 grand from the bank tomorrow. He like, oh, yo, what's up with that Wrangler truck? I'm like, I left that shit in Brooklyn. I don't even want that shit. I don't even know what block it's on. Matter of fact, it's by the car shop where I got the Maserati from. He like, you let me get that, G's. I'm like, go take it. You probably got to get a new key. He like, oh, I'm going to go get that tomorrow, G's. You different, G's. And we all know the rest of the story.
Why do you think that people have this misconception of what happened? Why do you think even her? Why do you think that? Where did that come from?
Nobody likes to hear the truth.
Because we were there. Bino get mad all the time, and he gets offended. And he was one of the people that called me. He was like, "That's not true." They think that what they think is that Stack asked you. He told you he wanted to leave. They said that Stack told you he wanted to leave. He wanted to move, and you didn't move him out. But that's not true.
You want to hear that story? All right, for Stacks and them, I was about to buy Stacks, the kid Max and Melly, a whole brownstone in New Jersey. None of them wanted to leave the hood. And I was not about to waste my money. And that was what I offered them. I went shopping for the shit and all that type of shit.
Yeah, we remember that, right, Bass? We remember that. Shout to Bass. I remember the conversation.
And I'm like, yo, you bugging. You want to, like, yo, you could go to the hood every day, but you're going to be living in Jersey. Like, you're going to be living better than, like, you heard? And you don't have to worry about paying for no rent or nothing like that. I'm just trying to get you niggas out the hood. Melly, too. Melly ended up getting shot, right? Like none of these would listen, and everything that happened that you know can happen in the hood end up happening and shit like that. You know what I mean? But everything to try to protect them for what I know could have happened to them, I tried. You heard? From getting all of his cars to getting all these everything. You can imagine everything. Private jets, Miami, hundreds of thousands in one weekend, 2 tour buses at Atlanta, like. Cannot front on how I had my boys moving. And I'm only talking about this because you was there. And you and Stacks were best friends. Or Bino, couple others and like that. Other than I don't even talk to people about Stacks and what went on. But we was setting it out. This was not on our level when we was moving. And no way.
Tony Yayo hadn't even said anything at the moment. His part yet. Although it's understandable why Jim was furious. Stack wasn't merely a to him. He was an artist. That was private. Right now, I cannot determine what is absolutely true, whether it's concerning the Guagan, the $25,000, or anything else. However, one thing is evident. Jim accepts everything pertaining to Stack deep, to the heart. Thus, when Tony Yayo discussed it, Jim interpreted it as blatant contempt. When Memphis Bleck and Tony Yayo sat down with Jim, Yo-Yo's name was mentioned. Jim didn't. Man, don't hold anything back. Bleak attempted to play Jim unloaded, but it's cool. He produced, he is obviously not starving, his people not going hungry. Additionally, this entire back and arguing over who has the superior sugar daddy is a moron.
Well, a lot of, me from the hood, so people look at Bleak and don't understand the business he's doing, and they always look at Jay like, oh, yeah. But
That's why, that's why you got like Yayo talking about, Jay don't take care of I don't need Jay to go on tour.
Yo smoke hard coke,
Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you an ounce or something,
You do need
You
that
might
help.
need
That's
2
why-
ounces, nigga.
That's why
Pay
we
the full
looking to
movie,
see.
nigga. I got a G for every bump in your face, nigga. I promise you that, nigga.
That's
I
a
promise
fact.
you that, nigga.
That's why he worrying about
Peon, you broke, nigga. You know
See?
I got it, nigga. What's
Don't-
up? The
ain't
bag is
nobody-
up. The bolsa.
Hey, yo.
Hey, Flea, where the bolsa at, Flea?
Let me finish that off. Ain't nobody taking care of over here, B. Yo, nah, you good, my nigga. I fucking love it. They deserve it. They need to hear this shit, man, because they bugging out here. All these niggas worrying about who taking care of who. We take care of we. Ain't no
100%,
who
nigga.
take care of who, nigga. You know who doing it. We live.
Us,
We getting
the
money.
gang, nigga. We take
You
care
feel
of
me?
everybody, nigga. We take care of each other, nigga.
That's a
You heard?
fact, my G. But linking back up with you, Jim, we missed out on a
Nah,
lot
this
of
is dope.
opportunity, bro. But we ain't gonna miss it out going forward.
Nah,
we need to
man.
put some pain
Time-
together,
time
bro.
don't lie.
Jim then began to brag about his wealth, his automobiles, his way of life, contrasting it with Tony Yoyo's circumstances. Here's the twist, though. Yao wasn't even attempting to say that. Jim was never said to be broke by Tony Yayo. He said, quite simply, Jim is good. Jim's friends don't look good, he said. They don't appear to fit. They don't appear to be up. To be honest, if Jim had concentrated on that aspect rather than ranting about money, it might have been successful, more difficult. And perhaps, just possibly, the entire situation would not have exploded as it did. But none of that was intended for Jim to hear. He was fully defensive. It was evident in his eyes. That pride took over. He sensed like Yayo was attempting to publicly make fun of him, and Jim doesn't joke about either his crew or his name. He began to yell, "Ain't nobody feeding me," I said. I constructed this from the ground up. He obviously doesn't live off of anyone's plate. Not 50's, not Jay-Z's, not anybody's. This is where things became tense. Though, rather than dismissing it, Jim doubled down. He began criticizing Yayo because being overly devoted to 50, claiming he was always cowering in the shadow of his employer.
Everything y'all niggas do, I don't do. I do the other thing. Everything y'all niggas go across the street that way, I'm going up. Holla at your boy. I do other things, man. I don't do what y'all niggas do. I don't do what niggas do. I don't watch niggas' money. I don't care. I just do what I do.
The energy in the room changed at that point. It became pure heat instead of a conversation. Bleak attempted to defuse the situation, but Jim was vanished. Emotions seized control. It was evident that this was no longer solely about Yayo. It was all that had accumulated for years. The insults, the comparisons, talk about how you're not looking after your people. Jim had had enough. Additionally, in that he made it clear to the world that he was not going to back down. No one, not even Tony Yayo. Jim continued to boast about his wealth, but that isn't really the point, correct? It's not only about who has Tony Yayo wasn't giving up either, so more money or who's broke. He retaliated via his Instagram feed and the answer was fiery. Rather than clapping back with words, he took a risk by reposting Max B, Jim's long-standing rival. That's a claim. The post has the entire internet's conversation. Fans divided exactly at the center. Some claim that Jim was right to say. Others believe Yayo touched a nerve by mentioning actual talk. It's your time now. Let go of a tell me which side you're on in your remark. On Team Tony Yayo or Team Jim Jones. Moreover, make sure you subscribe before you leave.